Good evening, Tallahassee. We are back with another week of FSU weather. It is Monday, February 13th. I am student meteorologist Lexi Birmingham.
And I'm student meteorologist Jay Karstens. Love, discount chocolate, and a little bit of haze are actually in the air with the temperatures getting back up into the upper 70s around town.
Yeah, absolutely. It's starting to, but it's still feeling kind of dry, but overall, I'm not complaining.
Oh, not at all. Some cooler temperatures are going to be on the way in the next couple of days with a big rain chance on its way for Wednesday. However, as we'll preview later on, your Valentine's Day plans are actually looking pretty dry and pretty warm.
Yeah, absolutely. It may be a little windy, but overall it's going to be a really nice day for all you significant others out there. Go out and enjoy it. And happy birthday to Andres Rondon. Happy early birthday.
And Kendra Spalding.
Yes, of course. So we're going to send it out to the wall with Matt Mackey with a quick overview.
Jake, Lexi, thank you so much. Take a look at our webcam feed from yesterday. You can see the clouds rolling in. Really a cloudy day, but not much precipitation, and it turned into some pretty good conditions after that. Right now on the tri-state radar, we don't have much going on. No, the radar is not broken. There's just no precipitation and no cloud cover to speak of. As for tonight, the night before Valentine's Day, if you're out and about getting ready for it, you're dealing with partly cloudy conditions, getting all the way down to 51, so it's going to be a cool night, a little chilly. If that would affect you, make sure you bring a cardigan, a light jacket, and there will be light winds out of the north at 5 miles per hour. Let's go ahead and show you your weather headlines. A fantastic day today. We were lucky enough to be able to go out and experience a great day today. Lovely Valentine's Day tomorrow. You'll see a little bit more of what we're talking about coming up in the 7-day. And as always, we are tracking the weekend, going to give you the best idea of what plans to make, when to make them. I'm going to send it on back to the desk with Lexi and Jake.
Thank you, Matt. Of course, we'll be tracking the weekend. We're actually also going to be keeping tabs on what's going to be happening Wednesday because the Storm Prediction Center has issued a marginal risk for severe weather for our area.
And if you haven't remembered, we actually had one almost about 2-3 weeks ago. And actually, remember that big storm we had Tuesday night? Ooh. Pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, power flicker is actually right here in the Love Building. We had our AMS NWA meeting at that exact time when the squall line rolled its way on through. So we'll have to keep a tab on that. Otherwise, it looks like some rain's going to be on the way regardless.
Yeah, absolutely. But now at the lab, we have Brooke and Matt with a fun little experiment.
All right, thank you very much, guys. We are here in the lab. We've got our Valentine's Day themed experiment going on for us here, and why don't you introduce what we're actually going to be using on the experiment today?
Yes, so today we are going to melt some icy hearts for Valentine's Day. So these are the icy hearts, and it's really just water with red food coloring in it to make them red. So here we're going to take them out and put them on plates.
There we go. So this is pretty easy to do. You just go and get your I guess, muffin pan full of icy hearts.
Yeah, you just fill it up, and it's kind of like making ice cubes at your house. It's just put it in the freezer and let them freeze. It's the same way. And
then we also have some ice cream salt here, and as Brooke starts to pour some salt on those icy hearts, kind of a little bit of background here. We know that salt goes on roads, icy roads in the Northeast. Not so much a problem here in Florida, but this actually will illustrate why that actually happens. Now, a good generous amount of ice cream salt here, and hopefully by the end of the show we'll come back here to the lab and we'll be ready to reveal what happens when the salt actually melts the heart.
I really find this a very heartwarming experiment.
I think so too. I think so too. And speaking of hearts, we've got a report by myself here that I put together regarding hearts. Check it out.
Valentine's Day is tomorrow. People here at FSU and around the world are getting ready. Now I'm going to dive in more about what Valentine's Day really means. February is the month of love, and as folks around the world gear up for yet another Valentine's Day tomorrow, many get wrapped up in the ideas of single versus relationship, the candies, the flowers, but they forget the core symbol of the holiday itself, the heart.
We're here in the lab now to talk a little bit more about the specifics of the heart. Now let's talk about heart disease. Heart disease is actually the #1 killer in America. Now that ranges anything from heart failure, heart attacks, and that encompasses all ages. However, today we're going to talk about something more specific, and that's congenital heart defects. Congenital heart defects are actually the #1 birth defect amongst infants in the world. 1 out of 125 babies are born with this every year. Now let's talk a little bit more about exactly what a heart defect is. So here on our 3-dimensional display, we can actually see the heart beating. And a heart defect actually comes in abnormality in the development of an infant. Now this can affect many different things. We've got our heart valve here, we have our veins, we have our left and right ventricles. This is the area where blood is squeezed through and out to the rest of your body. Now these are the areas that can see some abnormalities or defects as the infant does develop. Now, this is what we're focusing on for Congenital Heart Defect Awareness Week. Now, if you or your family want to learn more about this defect or this disease and how you can help, head on over to heartheroes.org. Have a happy Valentine's Day, everybody, and always remember that the heart is at the center of it all. For FSU Weather, I'm Matt Reagan.
All right, thanks a lot, Matt. Nothing but good times here around Tallahassee. So now let's go a little bit in depth on our local weather. Starting with your current conditions, it's 74 degrees right now, mostly sunny skies across the Big Bend region. Dew point at 41, humidity at 31%. Although keep in mind we do have some burning going on in the Apalachicola forest, so that explains the haze, and some of that will actually show up on satellite, though not really enough to show up on our version of the satellite and radar right around here. So you're not going to see anything in terms of cloud cover anywhere across the board, stretching from Perry all the way over to our northwest in Mariana. The winds are very light as well, so we see only about a 6-mile-an-hour wind coming in Tallahassee, as well as Apalachicola being the highest values you look at anywhere. Calm winds in Wilma, 2 miles per hour in Monticello as well. Let's jump straight into your sailing forecast for your Tuesday, and the winds are going to start coming out of the south at 10 to 15 knots ahead of an approaching cold front. Waves are going to be at 1 to 2 feet, so nothing too crazy out on the waters, just a light shop, nothing even close to warranting any kind of small craft advisory situation. Cloud cover will build up, but we're not expecting any kind of rainfall until we get closer into the day on Wednesday, so looking pretty good. As well as out on the sand for tomorrow, winds are out of the south from 5 to 15 miles per hour, whipping up a little bit more in the afternoon as that cold front slowly makes its way closer to us. Surf like in the open waters at 1 to 2 feet. And UV index only at a 3 has really been attributed to more of that cloud cover that we're going to be expecting tomorrow. Partly to mostly cloudy skies, really the big picture. Although the UV index is only at a 3, we still have a little bit of a risk for some sunburn out there. So if you do plan to go out to the beach, if you don't have any classes on Tuesdays, first of all, lucky you. Second of all, you'll want to bring that sunscreen and a little bit of water because the temperatures are going to be getting up into the 70s. For tonight, a low of 51 degrees is what you're looking at. Partly cloudy skies, so a nice cool night, even though it is still a little bit above average. Our average low this time of year is still down in the lower 40s. Winds are going to be coming out of the north at 5 miles per hour, and that's when you're going to start to see the shift as the cold front moves its way closer. Now out of the east-southeast as you go inland from 5 to 10 miles per hour, the high of 77 degrees. Partly sunny skies. You're going to start to see a little bit more clouds compared to what we had today and yesterday. And again, nice and warm out there, getting close to 80 in some of our inland spots. We're going to jump straight into your 7-day forecast right now, and Wednesday is the real big day that we're looking at here. Like we were saying earlier, a marginal risk for severe weather from the Storm Prediction Center. We're not expecting anything too crazy out there, but the potential for a strong thunderstorm is there, as well as plenty of rainfall, the high of 77 degrees. And once we get through that, that's when the temperatures really start to dip down into the lower 40s for your low on Thursday. Mostly sunny skies working their way back into the picture. 70 degrees for your high on Friday with sunny skies before our next potential chance of rain works its way back in for the weekend. So a very good end of the week ahead, and your Valentine's Day also looking just fantastic. So for now, we're going to zoom out to the rest of Florida with Lexi.
All right, thank you so much, Jake. Well, looked pretty cloudy overall for the central part of Florida. 73 with cloudy skies for West Palm Beach. 73, pretty much the same thing for Fort Myers. But it looks like the Panhandle, 75, 74, nice, beautiful sunshine, and that's exactly what we saw today. Not too much cloud cover in our area. Here's our soil moisture. It is looking actually pretty good, nice and wet along the coast. But as you look further inland, it seems like it's a little more dry, as you can see up here by our little color bar. So it seems like central Florida all the way up is still a little bit dry as you go inland, but overall the coastline and a little bit further in are seeing some nice soil moisture. Here's the satellite and radar. Not too much going on. Maybe some low-level clouds hanging over the state of Florida, but you do see some stray showers hanging off the coast over Fort Myers and out here in the Atlantic, but overall not going to be affecting the state of Florida anytime soon. Looking pretty clear up here in the Panhandle as well, Pensacola and Tallahassee, seeing some nice, beautiful, clear skies. Now, looking at those current winds, pretty moderate overall, 9 in Orlando, 10 in Tampa, 6 in Tallahassee, 10 in Jacksonville. So overall, pretty nice, light, moderate winds over the state of Florida. Really nice, cool, if you're feeling too hot, really nice cool off for you overall. Here are ocean temperatures, actually feeling pretty chilly, 72 just to the south of Tallahassee. As you go further into the Gulf, 76 is your temperature. So overall, it warms up as you go further south, but overall, water's pretty chilly, so if you decide to go out to the beach, like Jake said, it's going to be a nice, beautiful day for that, especially for your Valentine's Day. May want to avoid the water, but if you're a daredevil, go ahead and jump right in. Dew points, overall, very uncomfortable for Central and Southern Florida, 66 for Fort Myers, 64 for West Palm Beach, 41 in Pensacola. Feeling very comfortable overall for the panhandle of Florida. And just looking at our dew point scale, as I said, Central and Southern Florida feeling very uncomfortable with those dew points between 60 and 69 degrees Fahrenheit. But for the panhandle like Pensacola, Jacksonville, Tallahassee, feeling very pleasant to very dry. So we're getting lucky. Central and Southern Florida, not so much. They're starting to feel that moisture a little bit more. So here's our water vapor at the upper levels. This light orange color is pretty much just hanging around over the state of Florida. Most of that dry air is to the south, and it won't be affecting us anytime soon. But you can see Tallahassee and Pensacola starting to see that light color of green, which means moisture is on its way. So for tonight, it'll be 59 in Orlando, 62 for Tampa, 54 for Tallahassee. Overall, nice, cool night for you. If you decide to start your Valentine's Day plans early, it'll be a nice night. May want to bring a jacket, but I don't think you'll need it tonight. It's very, very nice tonight. So for Tuesday, 77 for Orlando, 80 in West Palm Beach, although they'll be starting to see some cloudy skies, 81 for Fort Myers. Key West, nice, beautiful sunshine, 79 degrees. Tallahassee, starting to see some cloud cover, a little bit more going into Tuesday, but overall it should be a nice, warm day to prepare for those storms for the upcoming day. But right now, Matt Reagan is out of the lab with a closer look at National.
Thank you very much, Lexi. We are here in the lab looking at our national picture here very quickly. Here's our national infrared satellite map. We actually do see this low pressure system. Let's actually zoom into this just a little bit more. In the northeast, this rapidly deepened, this rapid strengthening off the coast, and this brought quite a bit of snowfall for the upstate New York area into Maine, especially areas of Bangor, Maine, saw many inches of snow. But that's starting to move off and away from our area. Zooming out just a little bit more, let's come down here towards the Arklatex region. Texas, Oklahoma, they've been seeing some warm temperatures, and they're going to be seeing even more rain now as this low pressure system does develop. This will start pushing east and into our area, giving us those rain chances throughout the day. Let's switch this one real quick over to our computer models, showing this low pressure starting to develop as this moves out into time just a little bit, showing some rainfall for our area here in Tallahassee. Of course, we've been talking about that throughout the show. We'll talk about it more. Much of the national picture, though, seeing the snow rain line just about West Virginia area. Back home here, I wanted to highlight a couple of areas on radar that I felt was kind of interesting, and that's, if you've seen the smoke outside, we've talked about it a little bit, it actually showed up on our radar. Right here is one of those areas where there are some wildfires, probably prescribed burns. They show up on our radar, the smoke does. We had another one just southeast of town, or southwest of town, and one southeast of town. Could keep the smoke up a little bit, but the wind shifting around should help rather nicely. But now we're going to be sending it back on out to the desk for an around campus look.
Thank you, Matt Reagan. We take it now from a national focus to a bit closer to home, around campus, actually.
Oh yeah, plenty going on, of course. We're in Valentine's Day week, as well as the beginning of softball and baseball season, so we're going to have your forecast there for in just a little bit. Let's get it going right now, though. We actually have an interesting little Valentine's Day event going on, belly dancing class.
Ooh, I could do that all day, but unfortunately, it's only running from 7 to 8 p.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, 75 degrees what we're going to be forecasting for. Partly cloudy skies. I could definitely use a lesson. I do not think we'd be able to do a demonstration right now, and I don't think the viewers would like that.
Oh, just wait till the camera comes back. We'll get one in.
Okay, well, hopefully we have enough time for it, but winds out of the east-southeast from 5 to 10 miles per hour, looking like a pretty good night for any other Valentine's Day plans you may have. So now, let us jump on forward to FSU softball.
Yes, let us jump on over there. Wednesday at 6 p.m. Not looking like the best weather. Overcast skies, a chance of rain. Fortunately, it will be 76 degrees, so at least the temperature is going to be pretty comfortable.
Yeah, it's really good now. We're getting back into February, and everybody's able to get outside and play some sports. That was always one of my favorite parts of being in Illinois, is when the snow melts in March, you get out and throw a baseball around. And speaking of baseball, we have FSU baseball. Opening day, Friday, 4 p.m. There's Jameis, diving for a catch out in right field, of course.
I'm not sure if he will be there this Friday, but he definitely was at one point.
Considering he left 3 years ago, I do not expect this.
Yeah, you never know. He might make an appearance.
I wouldn't blame him, because it's going to be a perfect day for it. 70 degrees, sunny skies. I will for sure be out there.
Absolutely. Fortunately, a little bit better weather than the softball game. The softball game we didn't mention was against Florida A&M, so a bit of a crosstown rivalry.
Of course, of course. And now, let's get going with another local forecast. Well, actually, just a little bit. But like you were saying, Florida A&M, a little bit of a crosstown rivalry.
Yeah.
And who knows if the game's even going to be the plate, of course, because we have a chance of some thunderstorms, and like we were talking about earlier, we do have a risk for some severe weather even. So some
absolutely.
potentially heavy downpours, lightning could be a big issue. And with softball being such rescheduling these games wouldn't exactly be too much of a difficulty considering it's just a crosstown team.
Especially. It'd be different if it was like the baseball team. We're playing Virginia Commonwealth University, so they're all the way from up in Richmond. So I could imagine that would be a bit more of a logistical hurdle.
Exactly. And 2 years ago, we started off against Oakland University up in Michigan, and really the big thing for them was trying to get out of the gym and even just play some outdoor baseball. So now we have a local forecast for you. I'm going to step out real quick, and we're going to start off with today's almanac. A high of 78 degrees, and that almanac actually gives away our weather history desk, but Lexi will have more on that later on. -2 was the low in 1899, so that's some fun times for those involved. 67 our average high, so still staying very much above average around here, pretty close to a record high of 84 degrees set back in 1962. The radar is clean anywhere you look, although again we'll have to keep in mind there's some burning going on in the Apalachicola National Forest off to our south and west, so there's going to be a little bit of haze out there if you are driving around. So some potential visibility concerns, especially if you're on the south and western parts of Tallahassee, as well as a little bit of a pocket pretty close to St. Mark's as well. Here's the Futurecast rainfall totals. Going to jump into what's going to happen here on Wednesday. Not much going on up until the morning, but that cold front pushes its way in from the northwest. We'll have a little bit of a closer view on that later on in the show in our Local 3 segment. But Wednesday is really when the rain is going to start to move in. We could be expecting a little bit of a line of thunderstorms later on in the day that could be dumping over half an inch of rain in some spots. Here's the air quality for you, and the big concern here is that burning out in the forest. So not exactly the best of air quality. That's why you see way up at the top here in southeastern Alabama, it's looking a little bit better out there, very far removed from the forest. Thankfully, not much in terms of wind, though. So there's that update right there showing you just how unhealthy that air is. And pollen is also an issue as we're moving into the springtime months. Wednesday being the big concern as those winds really start to cook up, as well as the expectation of rainfall later on in the day. Thursday calming down just a little bit. Here's the one event that I actually am about to be going to right after the show here. Women's basketball takes on Texas tonight. Number 4, Florida State versus number 8, the Longhorns out there from Austin. 72 degrees what we're going to be calling for at tip-off. Partly cloudy skies. It is free with a student ID, and you don't need to get a ticket or anything like that if you are a student. So if you have the ability to get out there, might as well cheer on your Noles. Here's the evening planner, and again, at game time, 72 degrees, partly cloudy skies, cooling down into the 60s by the time we get to about 10 p.m., and then by midnight, really rapidly cooling down to the 50s, so getting pretty close to our nighttime low, which we are expecting to be about 50 degrees tonight, actually 51 degrees, partly cloudy skies, like I was saying, a pretty cool night ahead. Still about 8 or 9 degrees above average for your low temperature. Winds are out of the north at 5 miles per hour, allowing for a little bit more of that radiational cooling despite there being a little bit of a cloud cover out there. We're looking at tomorrow, 77 degrees, partly cloudy skies, and getting a little bit warmer as the rainfall starts to track its way eastward, setting up for a potentially active day here on Wednesday. But the cold front will move through, and we'll be looking good for the end of the week. Now on to Matt with a look at the southeast.
Thank you very much, Jake. We are expanding our view once again for a look at the southeast. This is how we woke up this morning. And some areas were cool, some areas were a little bit warmer. Here in Tallahassee, we happen to be a little bit warmer. 60 degrees is where we woke up setting this morning, but there was a sharp curve between 60 in Tallahassee, Montgomery, and 48. So you can see where that cooler air mass was actually hanging out this morning. Not so much here, but don't put away the sweaters and jackets just yet, because you will probably be needing them later on this week, especially in the nighttime and early morning hours. Current conditions, though, sunny skies. It feels great across all of Tallahassee. We were outside. I even dipped my feet in the physics fountain over here, and it was gorgeous. 74 is where we're at now. We're starting to get to the twilight hours. The sun will start to go down here rather quickly. Across Sunshine State, living up to its name, just a couple clouds around in Miami, but those are quickly going to be moving through. 24-hour temperature change. This time yesterday, we're now 3 degrees cooler, so overall a cool down in the southeast, but this will be changing ahead of the next cold front and the next low pressure system, and we'll show that here in just a second. Satellite right now showing kind of where that tail end of the low pressure was, hinting towards what's next. Right now, though, cold front sitting draped across the entire state of Florida, moving off with that low pressure system I talked about in the lab up in the northeast. And then behind it, way out here, the clouds over the Arklatex region, that's our next rainmaker. We'll be moving through on Wednesday. Now, UV index forecast, going to be still warm. Sun will be out tomorrow, so if you are heading out to the res, at the beach, or you're just skipping classes and want to sit by the pool, we don't say to do that, but bring your sunscreen because you're going to need it. UV index will be rather high, of course. Where the cloud covers are, UV index low, no sunshine. That's pretty much how it works. Current winds, though, out of the north primarily here, 6 to 10 miles per hour. Right now, our instruments are showing 6 miles per hour, much the same thing across the state of Florida. A bit of a southerly flow going into the Carolinas right now. Look ahead, though. Cold front's draped over the peninsula right now. That'll transition into a stationary front. Spring-like weather tomorrow. Sunshine, a little bit more cloud cover for your Valentine's Day. Moving into the evening hours tomorrow when we'll see the cloud cover increase. But that will start to disappear with this area of rain moving in, and this will be moving in Wednesday into Thursday, but we'll see some clearing as that does move through. Rain will move through, and we are forecasting quite a bit of a rain chance here across Tallahassee. But let's get to those evening commute conditions here and, of course, our evening forecast, especially for tomorrow. Now, tonight, though, what's it looking like? It's going to be 54 degrees, cool here across the southeast. But really, primarily, we're looking at an overall comfortable atmosphere. Nothing too cold, nothing too hot, but keep those sweaters and jackets out just in case. Tomorrow, 77, pretty much the 70s, where that cold front is, and the rain and the cloud cover, a little bit more on the cooler side. But right now, we're going to be sending it over to Lexi for a quick weather history.
Thanks, Matt. Well, I can't remember the last time Tallahassee was so cold, -2. It was February 13th, 1899, 118 years ago. That was the low for Tallahassee, and the high reached 22 degrees Fahrenheit. It is still the state record. It has not been broken since over the 118-year period. And guess what? Cold temperatures like this equals snow, and it ended up snowing here in Tallahassee. And you can see on the picture just above me, the students decided to have a snow day, and they decided to have a little snowball fight. We're not sure exactly where on campus that was, but it looked like they had a lot of fun with that snow. But Matt Mackey is out at the lab. Go ahead and take it away, Matt Mackey.
Thank you so much. Not looking at any snows, fortunately, so we're not looking at any congestion on the roads, at least as bad as it would be if we had some snow. You see here on Interstate 10, the flow is that is all colored in green, meaning no delays on I-10. Once we get into that city center, though, things do start to get a little more congested. You'll notice here towards the intersection of Tennessee Street, coming down to Old Bainbridge, a lot of orange and a whole lot of red. Let's zoom in closer and call out some of these city names. This here is East Tennessee Street, North Monroe Street down here. So as you start to approach the intersection, a little bit of backup, a little bit of congestion sitting. This is most likely cars sitting waiting at the light. We do have a couple traffic cameras we're going to show you, but first let's get on down to the Gaines Street area. This is a little unusual. Gaines Street is actually looking really great for this time of day. All green. Normally that's just a 2-lane road with back-end parking on either side. So normally you get a little bit of congestion out there. Fortunately not much. So if you want to go out and if you want to hit the shops, looking pretty good at Gaines Street. I will show you our One City of Tallahassee traffic camera right now. This is at the intersection of Mahan and Capitol Circle Northeast. That far out, Tennessee Street turns into Mahan Drive, and you'll notice what we saw on the map prior to that is happening in this traffic camera. Not much congestion as you leave the intersection, but as you start to approach that intersection, cars start to get a little more congested. We are going to zoom out right now. I have a quick follow-up to the earlier experiment that Matt Reagan and Brooke did, and you will remember that they set out a couple of red ice hearts, and they put they put ice cream salt on a couple of them, and you'll notice this one right here that has the salt on it, it's really starting to melt. It's only been like 10 minutes or so. And we've got this one here that did not have the salt on it, and you'll notice it's a lot more intact, just a lot more liquid in this dish than in this dish. So really an exciting experiment, and it shows why our roads are treated the way they are prior to a snowstorm, trying to keep the roads dry, clean, and free of traffic. So you'll learn something new every day. Right now, we are going to send it on back out to the wall.
All right, thank you so much, Matt Mackey. And we're going to actually start with a photo from Matt Reagan that was taken today, just this afternoon. Look how clear and beautiful the sky is. You can even see the sun's rays just coming down and shining upon campus. What a beautiful, beautiful picture. And thank you for sharing that with us, Matt Reagan. Well, currently it is 74 degrees, clear skies. It probably still is a little bit hazy from the burning down in Apalachicola, so you might see it might be a little foggy out there, but overall it is 74 degrees. Dew point is at 41, so it's very comfortable. Humidity as well, so you're not feeling too icky and sticky out there, with a nice wind coming out of the north at 6 miles per hour. Here's our satellite and radar. Nice, beautiful, clear radar. Not even a cloud in the sky. So a nice, beautiful day for you. And hopefully that will continue for tomorrow, for your Valentine's Day. And that's exactly what we're going to look at. So Monday, 8 p.m., looking very clear here. Just a cold front to our south. But this cold front will turn stationary. And by Tuesday at 2 p.m., the sun will be out. You will start to feel spring-like weather for your Valentine's Day. So overall, a nice, beautiful day. But that won't last very long, because come Wednesday, this is what is coming our way. This green area indicating rain with a low pressure and another cold front. So we're going to see another drop in temperature along with the rain. And this is going to move through our area into Thursday morning. Low pressure is going to hang around just a little bit. But hopefully by Thursday afternoon, Tallahassee will be clear of the rain, and this cold front will be moving out into the Gulf. But overall, looking like a beautiful week, except for Wednesday, where it's going to be rainy. So here's your Gulf index for tomorrow. It's at a 4, which is actually pretty good. Very low rain chance. Shady but very humid. A wind coming out of east-southeast at 10 miles per hour. So here are the futurecast winds and temperatures. Right now they're coming out of the northeast, and although pretty moderate, pretty strong. But as we head into Tuesday, we start to see the winds back off just a little bit. By 10 a.m., it'll be nice and cool with some light winds. But Tuesday afternoon, they start to shift just a little bit towards the northwest, and it will grow just a little bit, but overall not affecting your plans for Valentine's Day. By Wednesday morning, the winds start to become stronger, because guess what's coming through? And you're going to see it. That cold front that's coming through, it's just going to push its way into our area, and the winds are going to increase a little bit with some cool temperatures right behind it. So for tonight, it'll be 51, partly cloudy skies. It will be a cool night. We will have a nice wind coming out of the north at 5 miles per hour. So it is a nice night to go ahead and get started with your Valentine's Day plans. Tomorrow, 77, partly sunny skies. It'll be much warmer than it was yesterday. Winds coming out of the east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. So here's your weather wear for the next couple of days. It'll be warm. Don't forget to wear your red. It is Valentine's Day tomorrow. Wear your rain boots for Wednesday and a light jacket for your Thursday. So here's your 7-day outlook. Beautiful Valentine's Day, but here's that severe risk that we're seeing. 88% chance of rain on Wednesday. But look at that temperature drop on Thursday, going from 77 from Wednesday to 64. Matt Mackey, my goodness. That cold front coming in and cooling off those temperatures.
And you know that's what cold fronts do. They bring in colder air. They bring in a little bit of precipitation. I'm going to call a quick change on you real quick here. We are going to go to the double box, and we're going to go to Matt Reagan in the lab. He's got today's trivia question.
Quick here. I see you down there. You want to figure out what our trivia is for the day? Well, which type of front moves fastest? Now, all these answers and these questions are on our Twitter page. Go on there and answer the question. Guys, back to you.
Hey, Matt, thank you so much. As always, make sure you follow us on Twitter. We will be answering that question tomorrow, actually, on the Tuesday show.
On your show.
On my Tuesday show.
Yeah.
So please tune
Team
in.
Tuesday.
Please watch that, and stay tuned with us on social media for the answer to that and for all of your continuing weather updates.
I am student meteorologist Lexi Birmingham.
And I am student meteorologist Matt Mackey.